Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB or Chris, and today we're going to talk to you about extending the life of your soaps. Now I want to say a couple of things at the onset because people get upset. These are just tips to get the maximum life out of your soap. If you are somebody who burns through your soaps quickly, like within a couple of months, it doesn't matter. You can pretty much do whatever you want and they'll mostly be okay. Mostly. And if you're someone that just doesn't care, it doesn't matter. You can pretty much do whatever you want. But if you are somebody who wants to have a soap for 8 or 10 years, or maybe beyond, like this one, this soap right here, RazoRock Triple X UFO tub, as it's commonly referred to, was made and sold between 2010 and 2012. And this soap still has a scent strength of about 6 or 7, which is pretty much what it had when I got it. And I got this soap secondhand in 2014. It still smells great. It still performs great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this scent. And the reason why is I've taken care not to introduce contaminants in it, and I've kept it out of extreme conditions. So before we get too much into my tips, I want to also mention this video in part was inspired by Mark from Friendship Shaving, because the other day he did a video and he showed one of his soaps. He opened it up and inside, unlike this one, it looked like a petri dish from science class. There was all sorts of fuzzy stuff and bacteria growing in there. And he said he must have inadvertently capped it off while it was still damp. And guess what happened? Well, I have had hundreds of soaps over the years. I think it's pretty safe to say. And I have ruined a few of them. And so I'm going to share with you the things that I've done that have been bad and the things that I do now that preserve the life of my soaps. Because I am one of those folks who wants to keep a soap 8, 10 years. I'm going to keep this until I can't keep it anymore. So I used to load, like most people do, on the container. Now what a lot of people don't realize is, and you can clearly see it in translucent containers like this. When you introduce water into this and you're loading in here, a lot of times water goes down the sidewall of the tub and gets underneath. That is very difficult to dry out. I ruined the soap that way, and it was more in a container like this where you could not see what's going on. In one like this, you can clearly see when it's running down. In fact, not too long ago, I loaded and I introduced it was just a damp brush. I loaded and I took pictures of what the soap tub looked like. Let me show you right now while I'm talking the photos right there. And you can clearly see that moisture running down the sidewall of the tub and getting underneath. And I'm going to tell you, when that happens, it's hard to get that dried out. It really is. Then the other thing I want to mention is when you are drying it out and you're setting it like this, you're exposing this tub to everything that's floating around in the air. If you have pets, it can be pet dander, dust, debris, other contaminants. So if it's setting out like this, everything that you see floating in the air is going in your soap. In my opinion, not great for your soap. That's my opinion. The least amount of contaminants you put in the soap, the longer it will last. So what I do is I have a cosmetic scooper. I get out my soap, I scoop a little bit out, I press it into a bowl, and I will spread it around and load from the bowl. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think loading from the container is more fun. I think you get a better load. But what I will tell you is introducing a lot of moisture in here and not drying it out, or exposing this soap, not this one in particular, any soap, to the open air for days on end, it has an effect on the soap and the scent. And in the one case that I mentioned, water went down the side of the tub, went underneath, and a few months later, I aired that soap out, by the way. A few months later, I went to use this soap and it had no scent whatsoever. It was gone. I dug down underneath the soap, and on the bottom, on the very bottom, was fuzz and some black specks and so on. So I don't know, mold, whatever you want to say, but whatever that was completely killed the scent of that soap. So if you want maximum longevity, there is absolutely no question that exposing this soap to the open air, water and everything else, in the least time The more you keep from exposing this to open air, water, and everything else, the longer the scent will last and the longer the soap will last. If you don't believe that, go get some inexpensive bar soap like Irish Spring. Open the Irish Spring, open one bar, leave it out. Just let it set somewhere, just like you would be airing out your soap, and then leave one in the package. In 2 or 3 months, or let's say 6 months, come back to them. I almost guarantee you the Irish Spring bar that has been left out won't have that much scent, and the one that you unwrap that has been sealed, like putting the cap back on your soap, is going to smell better. To me, that is common sense. If you want to really maximize the life, pop the top on this, scoop, put it in a bowl, smell it, enjoy it, cap it back off. Minimal exposure to air, no exposure whatsoever to water. This soap is most likely going to last you a long time. Now, it depends on the ingredients, and some soaps will last longer than others. But like I said, in the case of this one's between 8 and 10 years old, and it is absolutely perfect. And I have had soaps that I exposed to air and water. They lost all their scent. They got mold on them. And also tins. If you use tins and you get moisture in there, they rust. There's plenty of reasons not to expose these soaps to water. And again, don't forget that water travels underneath. A lot of people don't realize that. I've shown you that in the picture. So this is pretty simple. Keep it out of the, keep it capped. Keep the moisture off of it. Keep it out of extreme heat and extreme cold. Really, really simple. Your soaps most likely will last longer than they would otherwise. If you kept them in a dark closet, that would be even better, but we're not going to go crazy with it. I think just less is more when it comes to your soap. The least amount of time this cap is off this soap, the better it's going to be and the longer it's going to last. And again, ultimately, it's your soap. You do exactly what you want with it. It is yours to use. You paid for it. You earned it. But if you want to see it around 8 and 10 years, this method, scoop and cap. Scoop and cap. No water, no loading, no nothing. I almost guarantee it will last longer than if you loaded off of it, or if you bloomed it and put a bunch of water in it. Now, keep in mind, if you're a bloomer, you can still scoop the soap out, put it in the bowl, put some warm water in there and bloom it. There's absolutely no problem with blooming. Take it out, do it in another container. Your soaps will last longer. You'll use less soap too. And so that's another side benefit in my mind. Anyway, this is just my opinion based on my experience. And I hope that helps those of you who want to keep your soaps around for a long time. As always, it's your shave. Do it your way. But if you want to keep it around for a while, maybe consider the tips that I've given here today. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless.